Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My apologies, I have not uploaded very consistently recently for my own what I class as consistency within my head. So I thought I'd come at you with a relatively free talking style video and just give you some random thoughts and insights and just random things I've been thinking about to do with space, to do with reality. In general, like I've been looking at many different things. I've been just thinking more and more about just like the vastness of the universe and just like how difficult it is going to be to traverse the entirety of the universe, let alone the galaxy itself. We know we could, at our current technology, we know that it might take us around a couple of million years to discover the current galaxy, like to discover that, do you know what I mean, like to be able to start to span out into our galaxy. So imagine how long it would take to discover the entirety of the universe. It could even be infinite, so we may even struggle to do that. You've got to take in time dilation, all these different aspects of it, speed of light travel, if it's possible, all these many different aspects of traversing this vastness of space. It's really humbling to think about, like thinking about creating new technologies, creating new ways of traveling further and further out into space, into the universe, discovering new materials that we can use for the betterment of ourselves and other life within the universe. I believe that is a good idea. That is a solid foundation of an idea for a species to commit to. We kind of already know the space, the vastness of it is in our future. We know that pretty much for certain, because I think we are in a very early stage of technological development for the human race. So if you actually think of it in that way, we could actually be nearing the end of it. You never know, because there is probably a limit to technology, but it just depends. Can we reach these heights of theoretical technologies that we're thinking about, or is it still going to be very reserved? It's hard to know. It seems like it's going at quite a astronomically fast rate. A lot of technology is coming to effect, like much better technologies than there was when I was like a child. And then the same thing will be spanning through as I go throughout my 20s, like discovering new technologies as it goes on. We'll be going deeper into discovery of space. Like I think they're sending more celebrities, more things like that out into space. I don't know exactly why they're doing that, but it must mean that space travel is more in the focus of it. They're doing it for the wrong reasons. We should be doing it for research purposes. It's good to see that people can go up to space. I'm not going to deny and say that I wouldn't go up to space myself, but if it's taken away from the funding and the budgeting for scientists and people like that to go into space and do experiments and discover new things, then I believe that's where the funding should be going, because that is innovating to the future of humanity rather than people getting the experience. The experience is also great because if people experience it who are in situations of power, let's say, they'll probably get that sense of, wow, we really do live on a ball, like, and I can see it in the out of body experience style of experience that you're experiencing by being out of the planet, orbiting it, like mind-boggling. So I believe that those things will help us into progressing into the future of that sort of subsection of science, like being travel. There's lots of things for people to be doing, like we've got a lot, and then as we get better with robotics and AI technology, it's going to become easier to mass produce, build these things. It's just about moderating that and seeing how we don't destroy the environment around us, seeing how we can do the things that don't affect nature as negatively as possible, like try and minimize everything and try and keep it, trying to not really go overboard with it and just mess up the planet, and try and put countermeasures in case things start to go wrong, because technological innovation is going to be definitely in our future, and it's going to keep going and going and going, because people want to nullify, get rid of all of these diseases and things like that, enhance human lifespan and everything like that. Like we've got all of these different things that we want to do as humans. So if we don't put ourselves into that position, we're not going to achieve it in the future. Like, you've got to remember that we are living in the present, well, what we perceive as the present, as I always say. We're living in that right now. So, we don't really know the future per se. We can predict, but we don't know who's going to get into power politically. We don't know whether different curveballs are going to be thrown at us, like the pandemic or whatever, or something even crazier like wars and whatever like this. Like, it delays us and it puts us on different paths. Like, if there's a war, there's a different future. So if there's not a war, an X, Y, and Z, like that's what it's like. And it shows us the unpredictable nature of life is probably going to hinder us further down the line, because we're going to come into conflicts within the humanity as a whole, where different ideologies clash and people go to wars and things like that. We're always going to have that, and we're always going to have people with dangerous intentions, negative intentions, evil intentions, because we can't control how everybody interprets the world. We just have to try and teach it enough into people where most people aren't like that, and we can try and moderate the people who might be predisposed to doing evil things. Like, we try to give more sources of people being able to deal with their mental health issues, deal with their financial issues. Like, I feel like coming together as humanity is what is better for the future, because we're more likely to hit the great filter and probably die out as a species if we stick being very tribalistic, stick being very, no, this is only our country's problem, we're only doing it for power, political gain, money, all these, so it's just like things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of life, because we're trying to, I always say it, we're the caretakers of the planet for our time here. And if we're just trying to just go ahead in our experience and only think of our experience and not think of the people who come after us, it's kind of a very negative way of thinking, because if you have children, they're going to have children, potentially, who are going to have children, potentially, who are going to have children, and those people are going to be the ones that pay the price for the repercussions of our actions. They didn't even do any of it. Maybe they continue to contribute to it, and it becomes more and more of an issue because it's been taught into them. That's what it feels like, that's what it feels like with a lot of things. So it's about minimalizing the amount of danger to human life, minimizing the amount of harm that we do to other life on the planet and other life out there in the universe. That's how we gain that kind of, I guess, focus, that drive. So the infighting isn't as much between the human race, so we can focus on things that are becoming more prominent to our future, whether it be space related, science related, AI robotic related, like whatever it is, it's more likely to be in the future, because we're living in the future to what people would have predicted like years ago, like in the past, like thousands of years ago. They wouldn't even predicted, like, if they were like, oh, can you imagine what it's like 1,000 years in the future, like they wouldn't have predicted this. I don't believe. Like, maybe some of them would have, maybe some of them were thinking like that, but it's very unlikely that they predicted exactly what we are now. So you just have to think of it that way. Like, it's very mind melting, and thinking about just the vastnesses of space and how we're quite very alone in our little section of the universe. It's very humbling, it really is. I really enjoy looking into the facts and information, speculation, all these different things about reality and space. It's just really interesting. That's why I love looking through my telescope and taking photos, especially when there's no clouds, but there's been clouds quite a lot recently, so it's been getting very, very much on my nerves. But hopefully I'll be able to get some good photos soon, and I'll be able to share them as a video or whatever on the channel, because it'll be great. But I think it's probably about time that I go. It's been a little bit of like a 10-minute conversation, so if you do enjoy these sort of less scripted videos, then please make sure to like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell to be updated with all the content that comes out which is related to this kind of thing, other stuff to do with space, other stuff to do with aliens, all the different predictions and speculations of our existence. So have a wonderful day, peace out, and yeah, goodbye.